I thought following our discussion earlier today with the Council on Ministries, it might be useful to share some pictures that I have taken of consignment sales, so to help kind of paint a vision, I guess, for the magnitude that our consignment sale could take on, and the potential financial impact that could have on our church. Because I don't think that everyone in our church really fully realizes that. In fact, I do think there's probably some predispositions in our community that are sort of against consignment sales in general, and yet they make so much sense. One, for our specific church, is low startup cost. The big cost for commercial consignment sale is the rent. Well, we have a facility there that's essentially a fixed cost, and so there's no marginal cost for us to host this consignment sale. And so we don't have any of that cost that a commercial outfit would be looking at. And yet there's big profit potential, and it makes sense from a ministry perspective, because it helps facilitate financial peace for families by making high quality, slightly used goods available to them for an extremely low price, and it's environmentally responsible. But for our ministries, I want you to understand that this consignment sale can be a very big business, and it represents a very big opportunity and a big impact potentially to our financial situation here at our own church. This is some pictures from the kids market consignment sale. That is a commercial consignment sale here in Birmingham, and I'm sharing these pictures just with you just to give you a sense. Sometimes I think we forget all the different categories of things that we buy for the babies and for the children as they're growing up. But it's an enormous number of different things, from backpacks to blankets and various types of clothing and shoes and toys and things like that. And you'll get a sense of that here, but I also want you to just get a sense of the magnitude as you're looking at these pictures. This is a rented out Winn-Dixie, where the Winn-Dixie essentially has gone out of business, and they've rented out this facility. And you're going to see here a little bit the scope of this and how they essentially filled up this Winn-Dixie store with merchandise brought in to be consigned that filled every nook and cranny of the store. And you can get a sense from looking at these pictures also the quality of the items there. Now we're going to shift gears a little bit. This is our own fall consignment sale. You'll get a sense of the cleanliness, the neatness, how little used many of these items are from our consignment sale. In contrast, what you'll see with the commercial consignment sale, the kids market, while we did very well, this being a very first consignment sale, we don't have as much stuff as them. Probably on average, our goods are even slightly better quality though than many of their items were. So the people who got to experience our consignment sale, both from a consignor perspective, I believe, and also from a shopper perspective, got very good quality items at prices you'd be very difficult for you to meet, and probably in many cases just be impossible for you to find prices like this in a commercial situation, in a traditional retail situation. So very proud, but I think that the size of our consignment sale can grow substantially, and so that's one of the key messages that I want to convey to our Council on Ministries and also other members of our church. Now let's also look at the First United Methodist Church's consignment sale in Trussville, and you'll notice here far more items. Essentially now they also fill up a gymnasium with all of their things, but they sort of busting at the seams and have to open up other rooms to put various categories of items in these other rooms. But again, you're seeing here that many of these items are very, very good quality items, but that the shoppers are going to get at a very, very low price. The church, I don't know what exactly the First United Methodist Church, but I know that it's likely tens of thousands of dollars that they make on each one of their consignment sales. And again, these are twice a year, so you'd have a spring consignment sale and a fall consignment sale. We made about $5,000 at our own fall consignment sale, which I think is very good for a start, but it can grow many multiples of that. It would not surprise me for Liberty Crossings to be making $20,000 or $30,000 on their consignment sales at some point down the future. And if we really knock it out of the park, we may make over $10,000 in our consignment sale this fall. Very difficult to predict, but it's going to depend on how much our ministries and how much our congregation and our kind of broader community gets behind this consignment sale. And as we discussed at the meeting today, I'd like for each ministry area to create your own consignment ID, because on a traditional, when an outside consignor brings something in to consign it, it's a we keep 30% of what it's sold for. They get 70%. If it's an in-house account and it's a donated item, essentially we would be able to keep all the profit. Now, to help facilitate us bringing in some of those things and accumulating them over the month of February, I am trying to get basically a storage facility. This specific one is a 10 by 25 foot temporary storage facility. You see the two little markings there at the bottom of the holes. That's actually for a forklift to be able to lift this up, move it around, put it in position exactly where you need it, and then come back a couple of months later when you no longer need it and take it off your site. But we can put this in an inconspicuous place around our church, in a place that's not seen very much, and fill that up with goods. And I think that has the potential to add $5,000 to potentially $10,000. Depends on how much we fill it up and the quality and the nature of those items that we put in there, but that are sort of house account items, where this is an item that's been donated to the church, and so essentially 100% of the sale of that item is going to be kept within our church. So I want to just leave off where we started, which is that consignment sales are big business. We have very low startup costs, and yet they represent a big profit potential, and they help facilitate financial peace for families, and it's environmentally responsible for a ministerial perspective. So this is something that I think is sort of the right thing to do on all fronts. It's just a win-win-win, and all it requires is for us to put ourselves out there a little bit, to put our own volunteer time and our sweat equity into this thing, and it can have a substantial impact on the financials of our church this year. I appreciate all your attention to this and look forward to your support of this spring's consignment sale. Thank you.